Hello everybody. In today's class, we will start the topic complex numbers. What are these complex numbers? Till our 10th class, we have never heard about this term complex numbers. We have never studied anything regarding these complex numbers. So, we have studied in our lower classes until this stage. We keep telling that in real numbers, the square root of the square root of a negative number is not defined. So we have studied this, that in real numbers the square root of a negative number is not defined. For example, we have an equation of the form x square plus 1 equals to 0. It's a quadratic equation, the power of x is 2. So x square plus 1 equals to 0. If we try to solve this, we get x square equals to minus 1. And we have learned that the square root of a negative number is not defined. So the square of any number cannot be negative. So whenever we come across cases like this where we get the square of any number is negative, we say it is not possible and we finish it off. But now this x square equals to minus 1, if we try to further solve, we will get this as x equals to plus or minus under root of minus 1. X is equals to plus or minus under root of minus 1. This root minus 1, remember, root minus 1 is not a real number. Okay, root minus 1 is not a real number. So root minus 1 is defined or denoted by symbol I. Root minus 1 is given by the symbol I, which stands for iota, Okay. So it is actually iota, but most of them prefer to call this as simply I. Root minus 1 is given by the symbol I, which stands for iota. So I actually is iota, but generally we prefer calling it as only simply I. So the solution for this equation will be, the solution for the equation is plus or minus I. We can write this as x equals to plus or minus I. So to study equations of this form where the square of any number is negative, this concept of complex numbers has come into existence. We are given an imaginary value, root minus 1 is given as an imaginary value denoted by the symbol I, which stands for iota. So wherever we come across negative roots, inside the root we get a negative value, we make use of this iota to confirm and solve and write the solution. So to study these kind of equations where there is no real number which can give the complete solution for the equation, this concept of complex numbers has come into existence. Even equations like x square plus x plus 1 equals to 0, when we try and find the value of x using the formula minus b plus or minus under root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, this value inside the root will be negative. So to make this positive or to simplify completely, this concept of iota has come into existence. Okay, so now let us see what is actually a complex number. So what we have to remember is I is equals to root minus 1. Iota, root minus 1 is denoted by symbol I, which stands for iota. So iota is equals to root minus 1. This I is neither positive nor negative. Iota is neither positive nor negative. Since it is not a real number, iota is neither positive nor negative. Since it is not a real number, it is a non-real number. Okay, but if you square this, iota square will be equals to -1. If we square, we get iota square equals to -1, where -1 we know is a real number. So we can say that iota square is a real number, but iota is not a real number. It is neither positive nor negative, because we can say positive or negative when it is a real number, but iota is under root of -1, so it is neither positive nor negative since it is a non-real number. Whereas if you square that, iota square is equals to -1. We can say, since -1 is a real number, -1 belongs to real numbers, iota square is a real number. Okay. Now we will see complex number. What is a complex number? Any number of the form a plus ib, where a comma b are real numbers. Any number of the form a plus ib, where a comma b are real numbers, is known as a complex number. So when it is completely in the form of a plus ib, then we call that number as a complex number. So we denote it by the letter Z. It is denoted by the letter Z. So Z equals to a plus ib. A plus ib, when it is in full a plus ib form, we call that number as a complex number. Here a is called as the real part of Z. A is called as the real part of Z, because this is A, it is not associated with any imaginary term. A is completely alone, it is real value, so we can call this as real part of Z. Whereas B is associated with this imaginary term iota. Okay, B is coming along with iota, so we call B as imaginary part of Z. Remember that here B is the imaginary part. Okay, B is the imaginary part, and IB is not the imaginary part. Okay, IB is not imaginary part. Most of the students, when we ask what is the imaginary part, they try to say IB is the imaginary part, but IB is not the imaginary part. Only B is the imaginary part here. Iota itself is a imaginary term. So anything coming along with iota is called as the imaginary part. So remember, B is the imaginary part and IB is not the imaginary part here. Okay. So any number of the form a plus ib, where a and b both are real numbers, is called as a complex number, and the complex numbers are denoted by the letter Z. So we can write Z equals to a plus ib, where a is called as the real part of Z and b is called as the imaginary part of Z. Okay. Now when we have a complex number Z equals to a plus ib, complex number we can write in different forms. We can say a complex number is purely real. A complex number is purely real because a complex number consists of both real term and imaginary term, or real part and imaginary part. If the imaginary part becomes 0, if the value of b is 0, then we have z equals to a. So when b is equals to 0, we get z equals to a, and we know a is a real number. A is a real number. So we call the complex number as purely real whenever the imaginary part is 0. And whenever the imaginary part is 0, the complex number becomes z equals to a. Same way, the complex number also can be purely imaginary. So whenever the value of a becomes 0, whenever there is no real term, if the real term is 0, then we have z equals to ib, and we call this ib as ib together as an imaginary term. B is the imaginary part there. Okay, so z equals to ib, this will be purely imaginary because there will be no real term whenever the value of a becomes 0. So a complex number is said to be a purely real number whenever the imaginary part is equals to 0. That means if the value of b is 0, then we are left out with only z equals to a. So z equals to a is the real term. The complex number will have only real part, so we call it as purely real. Whereas if the imaginary part is 0, if the real part is 0, we can call this as an imaginary, purely imaginary number. The complex number will be purely imaginary whenever there is no real term there. If the real term is missing, if the value of a is 0, then z will be only equals to I plus b, ib, sorry, z equals to iota b. This is an imaginary term. So this is said to be a complex number which is purely imaginary. Okay, so let's move forward. Now this is the form, standard form of a complex number. Z equals to a plus ib is the standard form. We also call this as the Cartesian form. We also call this as the Cartesian form. And remember, a comma b are real numbers. A comma b are real numbers. So complex numbers is actually a combination of real numbers. A and b both are real terms. Iota, of course, is an imaginary value. Okay, so anything of the form a plus ib is called as the complex number denoted by z, where a comma b are real numbers. A is the real part, b is the imaginary part. The thing you have to remember here is this a plus ib can also be, this a plus ib can also be represented as an ordered pair a comma b. A plus ib, the complex number, can also be represented as an ordered pair of real term comma real part comma imaginary part. A is the real part, b is the imaginary part. So when we go for geometrical representation of these complex numbers, geometrical representation, we consider the axis here. Okay, generally in Cartesian form we call this as x-axis and this as y-axis, but when we are dealing with complex numbers we call this as real axis and we call this as imaginary axis. And this axis where the complex numbers are represented, this is called as the argand plane. The plane where the complex numbers are represented is called as an argand plane, or we can also call this as argand diagram, or we can simply call this as complex plane. So where the coordinates are represented, we call it as coordinate plane, but here the axis where the plane, the axis where we represent the complex numbers is called as an argand plane or argand diagram or complex plane. So this x-axis will actually be the real axis here, and this y-axis we write as imaginary axis. And the complex number z equals to a plus ib. Let us take an example. We can write an example as 2 plus i3. So an example of a complex number in terms of real numbers, we can write z equals to 2 plus 3i. 2 we know is a real value, so we have to mark it on the real axis. This we can also write as 2 comma 3. So this is of course the origin. Okay, then this will be, we can take the marks as 1 and 2. Here we can take this as 1, 2, 3 on y-axis or imaginary axis. So z is equals to 2 and y is equals to 3. So this is where we get the point z2 comma 3. Okay, so we can represent This is where we can mark it as 2, 3. So this distance is 2 and this is equals to 3. So this is the geometrical representation of a complex number. Any number of the form a plus ib, complex number, can be represented as an ordered pair where a and b both are real numbers. So a plus ib, example 2 plus 3i, we can also write 2 plus 3i as 2, 3. This can be represented in a plane which is called as argand plane. Since we are representing complex numbers, the plane is called as argand plane. We can also call it as an argand diagram or complex plane. So same like x-axis and y-axis in our coordinate plane, we write the x-axis as real axis and the y-axis is taken as the imaginary axis, and so we can mark the complex number like this. 2, 3 is a complex number.